turn to our speaker right now. Larry, would you come up and please introduce her?
Today we're going to hear from one of our local people, and she's going to share a little bit about Providence Health Services in the Southwest region, where they're growing and partnering with our community. She's going to explain a little bit about where they fit into the community, what they're doing. Her name is Madrice Coluccio. Ms. Coluccio is a native of Seattle. She graduated from Seattle U, where she obtained her Bachelor of Science degree in nursing. Following her undergraduate work, she attended the University of Washington, where she obtained her master's degree in nursing administration with a minor in business administration. She has an extensive executive healthcare leadership background. Her career began at Virginia Mason Center in Seattle. She was a nursing assistant and staff nurse, eventually serving as a clinical director. From Virginia Mason, she accepted the role as an associate administrator in the Providence healthcare system. After serving 7 years in Providence, she accepted the role as the chief operating officer of a large community health system in greater Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. She returned to the Pacific Northwest as the regional chief executive and service vice president of Peace Health's Lower Columbia region. She returned to Providence as a service area chief executive, Providence Healthcare Services in Southwest Washington, where she is now known as Providence Health and Services, which is now known as the Providence Health and Services Southwest Washington region. So let's welcome Madrice Coluccio and find out a little bit about this particular organization and what they're doing.
That's perfect. Thank you, Larry. And I want to say thank you for inviting Angela Mackey, who's our Director of Public Affairs and Marketing, and I to just share about the story of Providence and how we're collaborating and contributing along with you in our community service. I want to start with a word of gratitude for all of you for what you do for our community. I've been in, as Larry said, I'm a native of Seattle, but I've been in a community member in Olympia now for 6 years, and I love Olympia. But I see your work, and I also see your work on the trail because I live out there. So it's wonderful. So thank you. I'm going to do a quick flyby in reference to Providence and specifically how Providence is working with you in our community. So we're going to start with, for us, honestly, it's all about the mission. And our mission at Providence is truly to care for the poor and the vulnerable through our compassionate service. And that truly is our foundation. That's what we do, that's who we are, and that's where our good works collectively spring from. The Sisters of Providence, we are, our sponsors are from the Providence community. They were called over 158 years ago from Montreal, a group of sisters. There's a bishop in the Northwest, I don't know how he called, but he did, 158 years ago, to the sisters and said, you know, we really need sisters here in the Northwest, in the Northwest Territory, to care for our loggers, to care for our communities. Can you please come on over? Well, at that time, there wasn't any, Panama Canal. I don't know how they got here, but they really got here by just pure faith and hope. And they established and landed in Vancouver, Washington, over 158 years ago. And just from having honestly nothing but faith and love, is where we are today, and it's massive what Providence and who Providence serves. So collectively today, Providence Health and Services is in 5 states. As an organization, we have over 80,000 employees. We have over 38 hospitals and medical centers, over 5,000 physicians who work in the Providence Medical Group with respective clinics. We also have a high school in Burbank, California, student body of 400, and we also have a university in Great Falls in Missoula, and that student body is about 15,000. So we really do serve not only healthcare across the continuum of acute and ambulatory housing, but also again education. So it's part of our roots, it's who we are and what we'll continue to be. Our Providence is divided into regions. So as Larry was sharing, we incorporate Southwest Washington region, and we serve about 600,000 folks within our Southwest Washington region in 5 counties. Our team at Southwest is comprised of all these wonderful people. I mean, there's countless folks on our team. Over, about 800, about 900 medical staff members, and these medical staff members come both internationally and nationally. We are incredibly blessed in our community to have outstanding physicians, supported by over 3,600 employees, 324 volunteers. We have 2 boards within our ministry here in Southwest. Greg is one of our board members who serves at St. Peter. Raj, another of your Rotarians, also serves as a board member. Again, outstanding leaders to help bring the mission to life here in Southwest. Also, 2 foundations. Again, we have the best. I'm partnered with the best. Our ministries consist of 3, and we call our organizations ministries. It's just part of our heritage and what we do. So Centralia Hospital, about 27 miles down I-5, became a part of Providence in 1988. That was the result of 2 hospitals, one in Chehalis, one in Centralia, coming together as one and asking the Sisters of Providence to be the sponsoring organization. And from there, Providence Centralia Hospital is what it is today, which is a very, very good community hospital, robust outpatient, 122 beds. Our oldest, ministry is St. Peter. St. Peter is about 128 years old. It's the 3rd ministry from Providence that was established. Just a little trivia, it's the 2nd oldest business license next to the railroad in the state of Washington. So really, really, really deep roots and deep heritage. The campus where we are today is the 3rd site for Providence St. Peter, and we've been there since the 60s. Providence St. Peter is the largest employer, private employer in Thurston County, as is actually Providence Centralia. They're the largest private employer in Lewis County. But we're the largest here in Thurston County, and we have 400 beds. We're the tertiary center of the 5 counties, so we have all services you can imagine, and a lot of referrals come from outside of our Thurston County into Providence St. Pete's for more acute provision of care. The other thing about St. Pete's, just really quick, and again, it's both these hospitals get awards. They get a lot of awards, a lot of national awards, regional awards. A recent national award that was, you may have read about it at St. Peter. Recently, U.S. News and World Report cited St. Pete's as in the top 34 hospitals in the country, and there's about 3,500 hospitals in the country. So it's notable that we have our best right here in our neighborhood. Also cited in U.S. News as we're the 2nd highest ranked hospital and medical center in the state of Washington, next to the University of Washington. The other thing, I just love to brag about our people because they deserve it, is we recently were recertified in Magnet certification. That's the highest ranking for a patient care team sponsored by the American Nurses Association, and there's only 7% of those in the country that are designated to that. So fantastic nurses, fantastic providers. It's all about the team. Providence Medical Group is our youngest organization. They've been around since, actually I got here about 6 years ago. So we started with the reason why, and this is an employee model, physicians in Providence Medical Group, now are about 200. We have 40 clinics spread throughout the Lewis and Thurston County specifically, but also we have clinics in Grace Harbor, as well as Mason, out in Yelm, so we're spread out. The medical group comprises both primary care and specialties and subspecialists, so just the whole gamut. And the reason why Providence got into the business of employed practitioners was truly to serve a need in our community. There was a lot of shortage of physicians, and the independent practitioners found it hard to support themselves financially. So that's why Providence stepped in to help. And even to this day, we still help and support our independent providers by recruitment agreements, just all kinds of support that we provide. Primary care expansion. So out of the Providence Medical Group, we have to date about 40 primary care practitioners, and we want to keep expanding that because there are folks here in our community that are still seeking a primary care physician. We have a call center. We just implemented that about actually last year. And monthly, we keep statistics. Every month, we get about 3,000 calls, and we can only seat and appoint maybe 50% of those calls. So the need for primary care is great in this county, and we're here to try to fill that gap. You may have seen this, West Olympia Clinic is our newest clinic. We just cut the ribbon on that clinic about a few weeks ago, and that is at the site in West Olympia where the home office depot used to be, so we're there now. And there's 9 new care providers there, and we are going to be expanding that clinic in about 6 months. Again, primary care, again, fundamental to medicine. So we also have a family residency program that is co-sponsored with the University of Washington. We've been around for about 28 years. And this is where we train primary family practitioners in a 3-year program. So 6 years ago, we had a cohort of, say, 5, 5, and 5. Now we have almost doubled that. And that is, again, because of the need for primary care here. A lot of the residents who graduate, usually their first practice is here back in the community, and that's a good thing. So we want to train our physicians and bring them back. This is a very well sought after program. We get every year over 1,000 applicants internationally and nationally vying for 8 spots. So it's a credit, again, to the wonderful leaders who are there each and every day in bringing great doctors to our communities. The other thing I wanted to say about our primary care clinics, we are NCQA Level 3 accredited, which is the highest ranking for national accreditation, and which is a good thing, is that we really try to ring the chimes in the highest standards possible. Because again, I'm a practitioner as well, there is no ceiling in how we can bring about fantastic quality care and great patient experience. So we just keep striving to do that. Other things about Southwest is we have robust service lines. So again, being the tertiary center, we have, again, cardiovascular services. We're the only ones in Pike County that has open heart surgery, et cetera. Oncology, very robust service line in reference to medical oncology, radiation oncology, a lot of programs, survivorship program. There's just a lot of programs that support oncology. Actually, usually in communities, the number 1 and 2 disease entities are heart and cancer. So we're here to continue to grow that service. And we want to, again, grow all these services, even neuroscience, very, very robust in that as well, and orthopedic. So our goal is to provide the best care possible here in your hometown. So you don't have to travel up I-5, which is really, I go up there a lot, it's really tough nowadays to be driving up Interstate 5. Now there are some quaternary services that we don't have, and Swedish just became a part of Providence in 2011. So they came under the umbrella of Providence. So a lot of the quaternary services, be it in oncology, like we don't have bone marrow transplants as an example. Those are triage up to up north to Swedish. So Swedish again is a great quaternary provider. We actually we have some gaps in surgical oncology. So we have a relationship with Pacific OBGYN from Swedish, and those practitioners come to our community for those specialized services, again, so that our folks don't travel out of the community to receive services. Technology is a big deal. We need to keep always abreast and one step ahead in reference to innovation and technology. The Da Vinci robot, it's more than a video game. It really is about how you can have procedures and be and less invasive. So our Da Vinci robot is coming soon. This technology is used mostly in GYN surgeries and urology services. So it's a nice gift to the community. That's going to be happening in the fall. So it's coming very soon. Telemedicine, that's another innovation as well. There's a lot of rural areas that don't have access to providers. So here's an example of how you use telemedicine. So St. Pete's is a hub, and we have we have extended telemedicine capabilities, be it in the more rural areas. So if you, as an example, if someone is having a stroke, the saying is time is saving the brain. So you have to have immediate service in order to candidly kind of stem the evolution of a stroke. So in telemedicine, there's immediate access in rural settings where a physician gets on camera, just like this, and interacts with the patient as well as with the provider to provide service immediately. So there's no time loss. That again, telemedicine will continue to blossom. We'll probably have telepsych and potentially tele-ICU. So it's a good mechanism to bring service to those areas that don't have providers on site. Angela's going to share a little bit more about the technology, about what Providence is doing, and again, we just want to keep ahead of the curve to make service and access easy.
So in February, we launched Health Express, which is an online tool you can use to see a provider. You can go on your tablet or your computer, download the app and create a profile like you would on social media, and then go back to that profile when you have an immediate medical need, but that is not emergency related, and have an appointment online for $39, which is often a lot less than your copay. We also have a brand new innovative team within Providence. So we have a new team that's looking at outward applications that will increase the effectiveness of the consumer experience. So for example, we have apps now that we're piloting in Seattle around mother-baby education. So when you have a baby, you can have information right on your phone about what you need to do, and if you have questions, there's Q&A documents and stuff on there. So it's a very exciting time with lots of new innovations coming.
Thank you, Angela. Again, the creativity, you have to be very creative. And speaking of that, though, I wanted to share just really quick some of the slides. But we are always in constant contact with the patients that we serve. We have an active patient advisory council that's been around for now 6 years. We ask members of our community to be part of the council, to be part of our committees, to be part of the innovation aspects, to be part of a design for call center. So it really is all about being one with our patients and giving and providing what they see as best. So it's all about the communication piece. The other thing, and I'll just mention what we talked about in board strategy yesterday, Providence is really reaching out for innovative partnerships. So an example of that is that Providence just launched a partnership with Walgreens. And we're going to be standing up some retail pharmacy and clinic access in Walgreens. 6 sites in 2016, 3 in King County, 3 in Portland, and I'm hoping to get a site here in 2017. Again, it's all about convenience. It's all about those innovative partnerships. So coming soon, hopefully in 2017. This is one of our mottos, is creating healthier communities together. And again, that's really what it's all about. I mean, the hospitals are there when you need it for episodic care, but candidly, it's best that you stay out of a hospital and to be well and to continue the wellness. And we're here when you need us. So there's 2 things that we're doing. Our boards every year look at what is the greatest needs regarding community needs, and there's a whole laundry list. But this year, our board, and both boards, selected advanced care planning, which is, folks shouldn't honestly wait to the last little segment of one's life to figure out how do I want to be cared for at the end of my life? How do I communicate that to my family? So you'll see a lot of that. We're going to be educating our communities on how you have these conversations. The other community needs assessment that bubbled up to the top was how do we help, how do we create an advanced wellness in children? So we have a innovative partnership. It's about the Fitbit, and Karen's going to, we have this partnership with North Thurston County, so Courtney and Raj and Karen and North Thurston.
School district.
Yes, school district, thank you. Our largest school district. I love that school district. But Karen's just going to share what we're doing together as partners to help increase the wellness in our younger child.
So this project is called SCORD, S-Q-O-R-D, and you see the little thing around my wrist. I'll pass that around. It's a SCORD booster. And it's sort of like a little Fitbit for kids, except it only is an activity tracker. It doesn't do any of the other kinds of things. It has great parental controls. And research showed that in middle school, children's activity levels really began to decline significantly and didn't pick back up. But if children maintained their activity level in middle school, then they continue to be active in high school and even as adults, and that's the goal. So this is a cool little piece of technology that we're providing through the foundation and their grants to our sixth graders in our comprehensive middle school PE classes. Did a little pilot program with this last year, and they can do little challenges like this class versus that class or their favorite, the kids versus the PE teachers and stuff, and they have little kid-friendly websites that they can do. They can send little pre-written kid-friendly messages to one another, and it's all to encourage kids to maintain their physical activity and have a lot of fun doing it. It's called the SCORE Project. We got great responses from the children last year that were in the pilot program at Chinook, and really wonderful feedback from parents. Of course, it's completely optional. Parents have to opt their children into this. But we appreciate the partnership with Providence as well, because it's really making a difference for kids and their health in our community, hopefully long term. It's very exciting.
Thank you, Karen. And again, just to compliment, Lori and Courtney and Karen. I mean, fantastic leaders in North Thurston School District, and couldn't do this without your partnership. And we started, as Karen said, on a pilot this year, and then we hope to launch 500 more children early fall, and then 500 after the first of the year. So it's going to keep growing and growing and growing, and then hopefully we'll matriculate our learnings and spread this throughout all of our community here. So it's a great project with great results, and it really gets the family active, which is a good thing. So someday I would love for us to show the video of here. We took a video and just have you start with great leaders. There was a wonderful PE teacher, and she was just amazing. But it's all about role modeling, and I attended one of their gymnastics classes, and let me tell you, it is what Karen said. I mean, people are just really active, and they want to keep excelling. Lastly, I just want to comment that again, we're all here for the community, and for Providence, we are always so glad to give to our community. And we see this in a material way, not only through service, but also through our community benefit and our finance. So every year we do a community benefit report. We always share it with the community on how much we provide. We are a nonprofit. Our practitioners are payer blind. It's not about what you have or who you are. It is about who you are. It's not about what you have. And so we care for everyone who comes into our doors. So this past year, this is our benefit report from last year, about $41 million. Providence at large, almost $1 billion that we give back to our community. This is a little lower this year, and I think that's a great thing. And the reason why it's a little lower, usually it's about 50 million every year that Providence here in Southwest gives regarding our services. But it's lower because of the exchanges, when people have the opportunity to sign up and get insurance, and that's a good thing regarding it from the Affordable Care Act. So I'm just going to end with that, and if anyone has any questions or comments, and I always, to me, it's, I'm inspired. It's a blessing to be a part of Providence. It's a blessing. It's a calling to serve and to stand on the shoulders that have preceded us regarding their faith, their courage. So I'll just end with that and say thank you.
We're running a little late, but let's take some questions. Questions?
Yes, sir.
Doctor, in the last 2 years, it's been my misfortune to have to escort my partner, Maya Reed, through your ER here at St. Pete's. And it has averaged 3 hours in the outer lobby, except for the one time when her blood pressure dropped down to 45/30. And that was a fast track through. But is there any expansion probability for the ER?
There's nothing in the near future regarding the emergency room expansion. However, in the clinics that we're building, it will be access to 24/7 care. So as an example, in the West Olympia new clinic, immediate care or urgent care will be available to our community in the fall. And if folks are triaged, for lack of a better word, in other care settings, that will then decrease the volume that comes through the emergency room in our main facility. We see about 100,000 visits a year in Southwest in the emergency department. St. Pete alone, 70,000. It's not uncommon to have 300 every day in the emergency department at St. Peter. So by having these other accesses and points of service for the less acute emergency patients, that will allow for capacity on the main campus. So we're trying to get it out into the community a little more. Yes, sir.
Are there any financial incentives that Providence has to try to decrease the cost of care?
We work on it all the time. So incentives, no. Honestly, the incentive is just to continuously have a good bottom line, because without margin there is no mission. So we work on it constantly in reference to being effective in our care, being efficient in our care, and being the most cost effective. So one advantage of being with a large organization, we do have economic leverage regarding purchasing power, and with vendors, etc. So that helps a lot. So candidly, the more you grow, there are savings opportunities.
Okay. Don't go away. Don't go away. Stand over here if you would. Thank you very much, Patrice. Let's give her another round of applause. We had a board meeting yesterday morning, and I was walking out with Gerald Pumphrey. Many of you know Gerald. I'm sure he was the president of South Puget Sound Community College for quite some time. And he turned to me and he said, "Boy, am I impressed with the quality of people we have there." And I said, "I also am too." It's not just here, but also in the other 5 states. It's amazing what Providence is doing. We have great people from all the way to the top to the entry-level folks. The nurses, the physicians are outstanding. And Providence is on such a cutting edge in what they're doing. There's a lot of other things in cost, we have a new facility out in 5 years old out in Hawks Prairie that does all of the regional purchasing for all of the regional facilities. So there's a lot of effort in that regard. So, Madrice, you heard the routine last week. We don't give prizes out here for speakers, but what we do is have you sign a book, and we gift it to the South Sound Reading Foundation so that some young child can have a book to read. And I picked a Dr. Seuss book because it had the doctor in it. But also, the title of the book is "Oh, the Things You Can Do That Are Good for You." And it's a kid's book, and it's all about doing things that keep you fit. So I thought that was pretty cool.
It is really cool.
So there you go.
Thank you.
Signing that. And then Ken, you want to
I
work
do.
your way up here?
need somebody on the basket, because I intend to get a few dollars in the basket.